All right, we are now live.
All right, so I'm going to call the meeting. This is the Education Commission meeting, regular meeting, July 28th, 2020. This is done via teleconference per Governor's Executive Order. The first is call to order.
Yes, Chair David Govea,
Present.
Vice Chair Angel Zobel Rodriguez,
Present.
Commissioner Suzanne N. Llamas,
Present.
Commissioner Nicole Moore,
Present.
Commissioner Olivia Robledo.
Present.
All right, so we're going to be doing our Pledge of Allegiance next. Do we have our flag ready?
Oh, yes, y'all stand.
All right, so please stand, right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, great, thank you. So next up is the approval of the agenda. The agenda had been sent out earlier. Thank you, Cynthia, for doing that. Hopefully we all got an opportunity to glance at it. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
I move we approve the agenda.
Okay, moved by Olivia.
I'll second.
You can take it.
Second,
Okay.
second by Angel. Great, so because we're doing this teleconference, we do roll call voting for each item. So Cynthia?
Yes, the next one is public statements, and we did not receive any public statements for the Education Commission today.
Okay, do we have to vote for the approval of the agenda? I mean, I'm pretty sure it's consensus, but we have to do person by
Sorry,
person.
moving quickly.
It's all good now, we're jumping in.
Ready, okay. Commissioner Olivia Robledo,
Yes.
Commissioner Nicole Moore,
Yes.
Commissioner Suzanne N. Llamas,
Yes.
Vice Chair Angel Zobel Rodriguez,
Yes.
and Chair David Govea.
Yes,
The motion carries.
great. So our next item on our agenda is, so you mentioned that there were no public statements?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay, so there are no public statements, so we're going to move on to our commission matters. The first agenda item is the update from our Census Ad Hoc Committee. Who's going to be presenting on that?
I am Olivia.
Great. All right, Olivia, go ahead. And I'm going to try to switch over to my computer just so it's easier for me. So as you're talking, you may see me switch. So.
Okay. I attended a meeting on the 14th of July, and the main topic of the meeting was the car caravan, which was to take place on the 26th of July, which was this last Sunday. So during the meeting, they talked about where they would meet and how they would attract attention, having a PA system, having lots of honking, having music, and so forth. So it was a very lively discussion, and everybody had a lot of ideas. And as far as there was a question about the use of the census phone number, the one that we get, I guess, from the government and maybe our local region, and how it is hard to talk to someone, it's hard to get answers. So our city is going to have a hotline. I think the number is 844, but they were still working on it. And so Gerardo Guzman is one of the persons that's been working on the census. And so he was talking about the hotline, and so is Nick from the city. And they talked about doing door hangers. These were just all ideas being thrown out, and I'm not quite sure that all of this got done, but these were ideas that they had. They talked about the route where they were going to go, and they were going to change it up a little bit from the last caravan that they had, and they were going to try and go into more of the neighborhoods instead of the big commercial streets. So they may have done that this time. Let's see. After talking about the census, we moved on to a PSA, a public service announcement video. I think it was put together by the police department, actually. And they have Mr. Stan Leandro, the principal at Bond International Studies. He was the one on the public service announcement. He did an excellent job. And they have it both in English and in Spanish. And so we watched that. And I think it is on YouTube, if I'm not mistaken. So it's accessible to the public. There was a question about whether or not the trolleys were still running in San Fernando. And so there was a confirmation that they were still running. We talked about, we had a little report from Pueblo y Salud, Ruben Rodriguez and Jerry Guzman about the work that they are doing with the census. And they have a separate grant, and they were going to do lots of canvassing in the hot spots. For instance, I think it's Pacoima, Sylmar, North Hollywood. There is a region that they had to cover, and they were going to do a lot of door to door, and they had hired staff to do that. But because of COVID, they've had to change that over to doing a lot of phone banking, a lot of phone calling. And they've done thousands of phone calls, like 70,000. And in their grant, there is 9 partners. And so we had a little report from them. And let's see. They were just asking anyone there at the meeting to please continue to announce to other committees, other commissions on how we can get the word out and get as much of the census completed as possible. And that was the end of that meeting. Then this last Thursday, there was a meeting, but I wasn't able to attend. I was on another Zoom meeting. So I imagine they were just probably going over the caravan and finalizing the route and so forth. But I wasn't able to attend, and I apologize for that. That was about it. I don't know if anyone has any questions or if Commissioner Moore would like to add to that.
I think you covered it all.
Okay. So that's it, David.
Actually, I did want to comment that our participation rate is still lower than the state average. So we do need to fix that.
Do you know what kind of numbers are we looking at right now? Just out of curiosity.
I know our assembly district is close to like, I think 58%. I might be wrong about that, but we're in the 50-ish percentile.
Okay, yes, that's concerning. All right, great. We'll continue to spread the word, and maybe if we have some ideas on how to, when is the deadline to get the census in?
October, I think.
Yeah, I think October 1st, October 14th, something like that.
Yes.
Okay, so maybe we can still use our relationships with schools to continue to spread the word there. I know they had a much bigger vision of incorporating schools, but with COVID, it's kind of harder to do that.
So we did talk about that a little bit, and we were saying that because of COVID, we actually, I think, were surprised that we had gotten this far into the 50s and so forth. Because of COVID, it's really hard if you're not going door to door and if there isn't access to some of this information. So of course they're not satisfied, but they were saying something about these strategies that they're trying to do, like the door hangers and the caravans, does bring attention to it. And then we talked about how on some radio stations, they are, and some television, there are some television announcements also on the census. So people are in different ways trying to get the word out.
Okay, great. Thank you. Any other questions from any of the commissioners regarding this topic?
Not at this time.
Great. Okay, so we'll go ahead and close this this item down, and we'll move on to our next commission matter, which is commission matter number 2, discussion regarding the scholarship process, application, and award ceremony. Typically, July is when we go dark on this. We don't really have kind of robust conversation in regards to it, just because there's not really much to talk about. I am curious to know if there's any updates in regards to our ad hoc committee, which was going to look around for some funding issues or funding opportunities. If there's not, completely understand. Again, it's a very unique time, but I don't know if there's anything else people want to bring up about this, but I think we really kind of hit the ground running around September or August, late August and early September in regards to questions, reformatting, things like that. So are there anything that anyone wants to bring up with funding or just procedures?
David,
Yeah.
I would like to say that I would definitely want to start thinking in August, because funding is going to be down, but we're also going to have a very different landscape for the scholarship event, in not even the event, but just getting the scholarships out and retrieving the scholarships. We could end up with many more because the kids are at home.
Right.
And they don't necessarily have the things that are taking all their time. Also, finances for a lot of families are going to be difficult in the next year. But if we can all kind of take a good look at what our scholarship array was last year and get a real good grasp on what we think we should continue, what possibly, if we want to merge anything, and at least narrow down what we've got. Also, because this is an election year and we don't know what's going to happen, we never know what's going to happen. The more that we have done before the election, the better.
Okay. Yeah, it's always important, guys, for continuity purposes. I know we have 2 new commissioners on here. We try to set the next commission up for success. Ideally, we kind of retain ourselves, but I thank you, Angel, for bringing that up, because I think for all these matters, we definitely want to think of systems or mechanisms that we can allow for the kind of next generation to be successful in the event that some of us are not serving. So thank you for bringing that up. Any other issues in regards to our scholarships that any commissioners would like to raise? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and close out this agenda item. So it might be a relatively quick meeting. Let's see here. We have the teacher spotlight nomination, selection, and presentation procedures. Just again, for anyone listening, this was an idea that was brought forth last year in regards to acknowledging some of the hard work that teachers have been doing, kind of mirroring the Student of the Month process that we rolled out a few years back. We think now more than ever it's super vital because we know that teachers too that are sitting on this commission are kind of going above and beyond what their normal expectations are in order to help the students learn and to kind of bridge this digital divide. And so I think moving forward with this is really, really, really powerful, and I think we have the tools and capacity to do it. So Angel, do you want to talk about the idea that was this?
I have an idea for August to get it rolling, and so that we can get information out into the public. We definitely can look forward and investigate additional schools or a school community. We have had one school that has been phenomenal in terms of nominating religiously every month. And that particular teacher, not even just the principal has come to every one of the city council meetings as well, but there's a teacher who has done the nominating, written the nominations, and come to every one of the city council meetings for every one of their students. And I would be comfortable working with the principal to nominate that teacher and highlight that teacher. Ironically, they were going to be willing to speak at the principal's brunch and try to encourage other schools to say, look, we're getting them all. And we don't even want to do this because we're getting them all, but we're going to show you guys why it's important to highlight your students. It's just a suggestion, but that way we could get the ball rolling, and then we can look at systems that are going to be in play come August and September, since school will be in session by the time our next meeting happens at the end of August. So that was my suggestion.
So were there any thoughts from any of the commissioners in regards to that? I think the feeling is we want to try it out. We have a teacher that we know has been doing really great work, and we're hoping that we can discuss kind of how it's going to look and just kind of moving forward with that so that we can really get this going in August. Any questions, thoughts, curiosities from fellow commissioners?
I do know who you're talking about. I remember seeing him at one of the city council meetings, and I agree that that would definitely be a great way to get it going. But I'd really like to see if we could get some feedback from their students as well.
From the students at that school, or okay. I don't think that'll be a problem. I know that we have the 7 same requests from before, and most of them were one line. And it was not for that teacher, it was for teachers at a different school.
I just meant like some quotes about that teacher.
Oh, I don't think that's a problem, because if I reach out to the principal, I think it'll be a slam dunk.
Just so that it'll be better to have kids' words to read.
That's, well, yeah, I don't have any need to say what an awesome person this is, when, you know, we all can say a little bit, but I want it to come from the kids, and preferably some of his student of the month recipients, because they have come in everything from prom gear to coming from sporting events, and they've made it a habit to be there. There's a mechanical engineer is one of them. There's been some phenomenal kids that have been nominated. Every time we read these applications from this particular teacher, I want to know the kids, you know, and I want to know how, as a teacher, he knows this much about all the kids. It's really fantastic. So I would be willing to reach out to the principal if we decide to go in that route, and touch base and have her put us in touch with some of the kids, because I don't think that would be a very difficult stretch. With 3 weeks before school starts, they've got time.
And I think it's something maybe we can work on this month. Olivia, you had a question?
I was just going to say, you know, I think that it's a great nomination, and especially if they're supporting something we're trying to, you know, develop here. So that fidelity should be recognized. But on the other hand, I was wondering, did we ever set like a criteria for what this recognition is about in a teacher? Did we have like a, you know, just forgive me if we did and I can't remember. Did we set some kind of criteria at all?
David, you're better at pulling up the forms than I am. But
yeah,
the form has, like, we have like there are lines on the form that offer different categories.
Okay.
Just to kind of, as their prompts. They're not, it's not as detailed as like a UC personal essay prompt, but there are different categories.
Okay.
David's going to be faster at it than I am.
I guess I just want to remember or remind all of us what the criteria is for this program.
Okay, I'll go ahead and share my screen. Oh, are we doing that anymore?
Yeah, I can be co-host.
Share this tab. So this is the form for anyone that has not seen it. This is what we have sent out to leaders, to students. We've forwarded, you know, to any interested parties. I believe we posted on social media as well. Basically, yeah, this is kind of what we decided to focus on. Obviously, we're focusing on schools that were located within the city. both public, private, hence the schools that are here. To answer Olivia's question, this is kind of the categories that we have, the criteria: inspires, motivates, mentors, creates community, and provides a safe and supportive environment. For the teacher that we're discussing right now, I think kind of you can really place them in most of these categories. So if we're looking to kind of give it one topic, there is, but I mean, I think there's multiple ones that would fit within this. But yeah, Olivia, these are the kind of categories that we're encouraging our respondents to use.
Hey, thank you. I took a picture of it, so now I have it.
All right, very cool. All right, I'm going to stop my share. Great. Okay, so I think what I'm hearing is that there is consensus. I'll go ahead and put a vote on this just so we kind of keep consistent. I think before that, though, we should discuss kind of what it looks like. So the ad hoc will get together, which is Angel and myself. We will reach out. We'll make sure all the kind of things done. Once we acknowledge the teacher, how does that look like? So I did recently have a conversation with Councilmember Bellin in regards to being at meetings. And she did mention that she would actually like, if it would be possible to bring back student of the month and these kind of positive things. I think she felt it was as an asset to the council, just like we all agree. So I think it's one of those things where we can invite them to the Zoom meeting. Sorry if it's cutting out. If it's cutting out too bad, let me know and I'll switch. But I do want to, yeah, we can still do it in front of the mayor and council and everything else. Obviously, I'm willing to join in on it. Honor them that way. I think it'd be great if we can put a certificate. I think it would be great if we can do the social media posting, because there are probably a lot of kids who follow who would like to see their teacher up there shining. And then any other suggestions that we have here. So any other thoughts from the commissioners on how to acknowledge? So the meeting, certificate, social media post.
I would really also like to see that come back to city council.
I did confirm with the city manager, and he did confirm that students, parents, teachers can all join as a presentation at city council meetings. For certificate and to be agendized, I would just need the name and information 7 days before the city council meeting to make sure that we get everything in there and that we are able to send them all a Zoom invitation as well.
Okay, great. Any other ways that we can acknowledge them? I mean, to me, if I was a teacher getting I would honor, and I think I probably be acknowledged in front of the council for doing the work that you do that you love. But is there anything else?
Teachers always want to maybe a card from Starbucks or something like that. They appreciate that. Maybe we could give them, I don't know, a $10 or something gift card. Just a thought.
I like that idea. I think it's actually one of my former students gave me one as a thank you for teaching them this year. And it was really, really thoughtful. And, it means a lot just because it's here's a recognition for something. And obviously you get the coffee and think about it. But is that something where, would there be an issue purchasing $10 gift cards for the teachers? Because at this point we've kind of solicited donations from
David,
vendors.
I would go buy a $25 gift card for this one, and then we can figure it out as we go. I mean, I don't want to do $10 because $10 isn't 2 drinks. So, I mean, I can do $25 gift card for the first one, and then we'll figure out how we do it after that.
Okay, no, thank you so much. I think that's a good short-term solution, and then the long-term we'll figure out ways of maybe using funds or if we want to.
I would be willing to do another month for a teacher.
Okay, I mean, I think we can figure something out. I think I would like it to be $25 only because even when you give a kid $10 is one thing, but an adult, if they have someone else in their household that they can't even get 2 drinks with that. So I want to make sure that they can, if they're actually going to Starbucks to pick something up, they can actually I don't know, get a frap and a cookie. So at least 25 seems a little bit more robust. And I definitely support awesome teachers. So I'm okay with that, and we'll figure it out as we go.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, I'm willing to as well. So great, man. That sounds good. Any other comments in regards to the teacher nomination? All right. So I'm going to go and put a motion forward to acknowledge Mr. Foley, put his name out right now, for the first San Fernando teacher spotlight. And kind of moving forward with this program, we'll continue to acknowledge teachers along the way as we get the nomination form. So I put the motion forward. Can I get a second?
I second.
Okay. So we're going to do our roll call vote.
Commissioner Olivia Robledo,
Yes.
Commissioner Nicole Moore,
Yes.
Commissioner Suzanne N. Llamas,
Yes.
Vice Chair Angel Zobo Rodriguez,
Yes.
and Chair David Gallego.
That is yes.
Motion carried.
Awesome, guys. So we got our first teacher spotlight. We'll coordinate with council to what's the best meeting for that. We'll coordinate with the school and the teacher. And I think Commissioner Moore's suggestion of getting some student comments and their thoughts and ideas is really excellent. We can add that not only to the meeting but also with the social media posts. And yeah, we're glad we can start making our teachers, acknowledging them for the hard work that they're doing. That's great. Thank you, guys. All right, so we're going to go ahead and close this item. We're going to move forward to agenda item number 4, which is our Student of the Month nomination, selection, and presentation. What I want to do, since we are kind of in between our years, I think last meeting the consensus was to move forward. We still want to do this. We can do this, so let's do it. The fact that both city staff as well as council is requesting for students to come and kind of lighten things up, I think it gives us additional fire to make it happen. What I want to do is share my screen really quick, and I'm going to go over what the months are again, just so you guys can see, and then talk about any other kind of changes that we need to do. And then we will begin the process starting next meeting. We'll send out the forms, I'll review it with you guys, and we will start acknowledging our great students. So I'm gonna share my screen. All right, guys. So this is the, I still have Scholar of the Month. We're playing with that for a while, but let's change that. Okay, so we do this from September through May. These are the categories right here. So Olivia, if you want to get a glance at that. September, we start with leadership. October, responsibility, ownership. November, giving back. We combine December and January just due to winter break, as well as the holidays. That's academic achievement. February, we do kindness / caring, or I think this was allies. So there are people who are allies for oppressed minority groups. March, creative / artistic. April, we have special circumstances, resilience, perseverance, challenges, obstacles. And then May, we have academic achievement. Would anyone like any clarity on this, or should we take out, with distance learning, virtual learning, there might be an opportunity to kind of reshape some of these to be more fitting for what this next academic year is going to look like. I'm curious to know what what you guys have. So
I feel like every month should be resilient. Sorry. Not necessarily, but I feel like anybody that survives it and gets through it, we don't have attitude, or I don't even know how to put it, but positive attitude. I don't know how leadershipy kids are by distance learning, but on the other hand, we're trying to recognize all the strengths that they have when it's not a pandemic too. Eventually they will be on the other side. So I'm okay with them, but I'd be very curious to see if anybody else has a better idea for change of any of them.
I have two comments. Comment one is I would like for 2020 to put August in there, at least for a special circumstance, and go back and recognize the kids who we canceled on. Because there was a kid, I don't remember both of them, but one of them, it was the creative and artistic ones that we had chosen. One of them had a different outfit for every event. He was like going to be a fashion designer. I think his name was Carl.
That was the one I wanted to meet. So yes.
No. I would like to put that in for August because I still want to virtually meet Carl. And the other one, I'm sorry, I don't remember the other one. That one with me. And then the other thing is we do have academic achievement in there twice. Actually, I lied. I have 3 comments. We have academic achievement in there twice, but maybe we could switch one of those out for positivity, or instead of giving back, maybe switch giving. I like what you're saying about positivity, basically. And I was thinking maybe we could swap one of those in the first semester, because this first semester is going to take a lot of positivity. And then my third comment is I wanted to say something about the leadership bit. There is a student at the school where I work, Vaughn, which I know isn't on the list. I'm just using as an example. There's a student who he is the president of the Student Advisory Council. And my son says he is the best thing about the freshman orientation. He has been coming to every single session of freshman orientation, and he answers all of the questions, and he's prodding all of us. He's all, we still need clubs. When's Club Rush? So there are still kids that are demonstrating some really profound leadership in very difficult times. So I would like to keep the leadership one in there.
That's great. Yeah, I know at our school we still have ASB. There's still a leadership class, and they still plan on doing things that they can do. So I agree. I think it'll be really interesting to see how leadership manifests in the student body, considering the limitations and restrictions that we have. And I think it'd be really cool to acknowledge that. Maybe pushing it back a little bit further. Maybe leadership in December, January, and September could be positive attitude. I think that'd be a really cool one, just because, hey, you know, there's a lot to be upset about, right? I mean, if you're a senior right now, how heartbreaking is that to start your senior year on a computer? But there are, I'm sure, some students who have that spin, right? The eternal optimists, the people who not only feel good about things, but help other people make, you know, themselves feel better. So I like your idea, Angel. I think maybe we can move leadership to the first academic achievement, and then put a positive attitude in September. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we all feel the same way, because no matter what group you're on, you guys are on high school groups, I'm on college parent groups, and it amazes me. You know, everybody's pivoting every single day. Everybody feels like a ping pong ball. Everybody is frustrated, but there are just some people that feel like they're that infamous story about the horse poop and the kid jumping in there looking for the pony. And that's the kind of thing that some of those people are just getting us through. You know, I'm okay with September there. I feel like academic achievement does make sense in December, January, because that's where you're going to get your seniors that are doing the thing, whatever the thing is. But we could also leave it till later, because the academic achievement, this is going to be a year that things are different. It is. So if we want to leave leadership in December, January, and have academic achievement in May, I'm okay with that.
Great.
Can I have a question regarding the October responsibility ownership? What would that look like for a student?
That's a good question. Yeah, we usually gave a description for it. I believe for that one, it could look 2 ways. One, it's responsibility for yourself, where we have a lot of students who feel this sense of like, I need to do this because there's things around me that need me to do this, right? So for example, kids who take care of their family, that level of responsibility. And then there's like the academic ownership that we've seen before, where students have kind of switched their mindset in terms of like why they're in school and become, I guess, higher achieving students because they felt a sense of ownership with their academics and felt like it was something that was in their control. Can anyone think of the other winners that we've had before?
Yeah,
This semester is going to look like logging in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's been one, and I don't know if it was for responsibility, but what struck me is it was a student that was doing the PA system for the entire school. And it was at CCLA, and it was one of the times that it wasn't from ACE, but the student was part of whatever the AV club is now called, and was doing all of the productions out of the auditorium and doing the entire sound system.
Yeah.
So it's that kind of thing where we might not assume that a kid would be able to take on that much and do it well. And here was a teacher or a school official saying, this kid isn't running our school, he's running all 4 schools. And when you have four schools of auditorium running at one time, I can't even imagine. So that's the kind of responsibility, whatever it is that they are responsible for, they're taking it and running with it.
I see. So it's like a sense of volunteer mentality, being responsible to make sure that their schools are running or taken care of, but they do volunteer their services, correct?
Yeah, mature beyond their years is what I mean, without sounding overly dramatic, but where they're doing more than we would expect a kid to do at that age, and again, when we see them, we don't have to come up with the perfect explanation of who these kids are. We're giving the prompt out and we're hoping to see back. And if there's a little bit of latitude in these and we get some really good stories, that's gonna make our job easier.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and Susan, it also can be an example of individual responsibility. So like Commissioner Orr mentioned, the student that's logging in every meeting, or like the kid that's going to realize they don't have internet access at home, so they're going to go to Starbucks so they can get their assignment done and be part of the meeting because the teacher said it was important. That's ownership, right? They know this thing's important and they're willing to kind of sacrifice in order to get that. So it can be kind of volunteer and collective responsibility or ownership, or it can be individualistic as well.
Okay, all right, thanks.
I just wanted to add that my niece is teaching at Mission College, and what she's observed is a lot of the high school students that she was teaching during the summer were sitting side by side by their siblings, were also attending summer school. And so as a high school student took the class from her, they were also responsible for their siblings getting their work done. And so it was something that maybe they didn't choose, but they were trying to do their best so that everybody in the household was being covered because parents were out working. So in this, condition that we find ourselves nowadays, this one is very, I think, appropriate because that's going to be going on a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think acknowledging those students, I'm glad we get to hear some of these stories and give some shine to them. Great. Any other thoughts? So what I'm seeing is we'll reach out to the March 2020 winners. I know we did discuss this last meeting, so I'll make sure to get that done for the August acknowledgement, and we'll forward the message if they accept it and if they plan on attending one of our August council meetings. Next commission meeting, I'll have the nomination form for September, which will be positive attitude. Just so you guys can glance through and see if there's any kind of revisions we should make before sending it out. And then we're moving forward with this. I think we still have some prizes from Horchateria. If there's still other businesses that are in the position to donate, that's great. I know it's hard out there for a lot of people right now, so it may be tough to try to solicit more. But I know we still have a few and we can kind of work on finding more as we need to. Any other thoughts about the student month?
Horchateria, they have been, just since you mentioned them, and they're one of our partners who do always, we do always have that thing for the kids. They are fantastic about observing social distancing in their stores and in their lines. They are probably one of San Fernando's best model restaurants right now.
Why? I'm just random side tangent. I'm noticing there's been a big line there. Has there been any events There's been, I think the past couple times that I've gone by, it seems like there's been more people.
The
than usual.
line is because they have 3 circles in the store. You can stand at the circle that is like 10 feet away from the register, and they have a long cord that connects their register to where you pay with the credit card, so that their staff is like way far away from anybody in. You can stand on that circle, and then they have you move to the waiting circle here, and then to where you get it circle. And if you can't be in one of those circles, you can't come in the store. You have to wait 6 feet outside. They're just so fantastic about keeping their staff and their customers safe. And I think I'm very grateful that they're one of our partners, because I feel comfortable sending students there.
Great, and extremely generous too. So, maybe in the future, if one of the other commissions could think of, acknowledging our businesses too for exemplary behavior, that'd be great. Awesome, thank you for that. Any other comments? I think, Olivia, were you gonna mention something, or?
I think
No.
we covered it.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, guys, so there's nothing to vote on that. We have that set up. I'm gonna go ahead and stop sharing my screen. Let's see what's next. The next agenda item is the principal's brunch event. Yeah, I've been thinking what you guys are saying. I know I wanted to move forward and I had a lot of enthusiasm and excitement, but I kind of had to slow down a little bit, and I'm not sure of how useful nor successful it's going to be, being that everything is virtual this year. Would principals want another virtual meeting? And with the election year coming up, are there any changes or anything that's going to really be helpful? Because that's usually when we do it around. So I don't know. But I don't know if there's too much to discuss on that. Did anyone after last meeting have a revelation that they want to share, or feel excited one way or the other about making it happen or tabling it?
I don't know. I think I mentioned this last meeting, that I thought we should wait till January. We had our first one in January and it seemed to go well. And because of the election and every day being a different day with COVID, I think we should just kind of not invite them to anything in the fall. That's my opinion.
And David, we could definitely just kind of keep bringing it up. And if the numbers still stay the same and schools are still distance learning, we know we want to have one at some point, but I work from home. I've worked from home for years. After my 3rd meeting yesterday, I wanted to take a nap. So the thought of saying, hey, here's a great, and some of them are important and they have to happen, but trying to say, hey, we want to celebrate you by dragging you into a meeting. Hey, yay. I love the principal's brunch idea. I love connecting them with all of the staff. They are energizing and exciting to be part of, to see all these people so excited to speak to each other. But I can't see that with the Brady Bunch boxes. So I agree with Olivia, and let's just hold on to it. And if by late fall we know we have to postpone it till the spring, whenever we can have it the way we want to have it is when we should have it.
Even if we postponed to spring, we may be able to do something outside and figure out how to make it work outside. I know that involves setting up tables and stuff like that outside, but I feel like we could maybe make that work and people might feel safe if school is at a point where we can be in school hybrid by then.
Yeah.
January might be a bit cold to make people sit outside for a couple hours. We're Californians.
Okay.
We have no tolerance for
weather. We've had fires and we've had things canceled. I don't want to have it in January, and quite honestly, the pandemic is not our fault. So, at least for that very token, by postponing it, I don't want to invoke earthquakes. I don't want to invoke any other anything else. So if we get towards January and we're looking at the years the most rain ever, then we know that that's nature telling us to hold off a little bit longer. But whether it's spring or whether it's when we can have it, even early summer when we're in June gloom, all of those things are opportunities Instead of the principal's brunch, we can all make an effort to reach out to our schools and make sure that if there's anything that they need or the people that they need to get in touch with, that we help them get connected in whatever ways we can help with that.
What if
But
we did a reverse principals brunch then? Like what you're saying, like, because the bags that we gave out were kind of helpful. They had all the stuff about the city and everything, and we could put together, especially like what are the resources right now, and then like deliver like a croissant or something and coffee, or I mean, I'm just trying to think creatively out of the box, because like you're saying, the resources is like a really helpful part.
yeah, if we're talking about in late fall or early spring, maybe by then we'll know if people are actually on their school sites and they're not working from home as well. Because that would be my only concern, is if we show up and that's the day that the principal's not there, then, you know, I would love a croissant, but I don't need a croissant. So, but I like that idea. And why don't we kind of think about that for, you know, the next meeting or the meeting after that, once you guys are all back in school and you're seeing how this actually looks, where it wasn't like Friday you were in a classroom and Monday you were on your sofa, you know, so that we can kind of see how it actually looks when there's been planning and everybody's had an opportunity to really make distance learning the best that it can be, knowing that's not where anybody wants to be.
Another idea is to possibly even just send them a letter, a greeting letter, maybe in September or October, you know, just saying that we are supportive of their efforts and we understand they're in a new age and that things are difficult. And then maybe in that letter we can mention our programs, the you know, featuring the teacher of the month and the student of the month, and give them all the for the student of the month, give them the categories, just all in this one letter, and just say like trying to pump them up that they're, you know, doing a courageous work in this day and age, or whatever. I don't know what we would say in the letter, but I think receiving a letter from us would be, even if it's an email, not a written letter on our letterhead or anything, but an email greeting would be nice.
I like it.
I like that idea a lot. Yeah, I think as an introduction, maybe, you know, we could even solicit some information. I have just a general curiosity as to how each school is going to be running, just because this is such an unprecedented time, and I think there's going to be so much to learn. So obviously sharing our programs, but, you know, even inquiring as to, you know, hey, how does your schedule look? You know, like how often are kids meeting? Because I know, you know, we can discuss that in a little bit, but, you know, our school just released our you know, daily schedule today. So I just found out like the hours that I'm going to be doing live instruction versus, you know, small group meetings, staff meetings. So I know each school is going to be approaching it differently. I'd be curious to see that. But I think just to start us off, yes, an email sharing what we're doing, reminding them of who we are, I think could be a really great start to that. And then moving forward toward maybe figuring out an opportunity to bring them together in some capacity later.
I agree with all the commissioners. I think that's a good idea for us to keep that communication. So, and possibly like maybe Olivia was saying, or Commissioner Moore was saying that out in during the springtime, that would be a great idea to at least get them outside if that's possible. Because I wouldn't want to do another Zoom meeting where the whole purpose of it is to, you know, to communicate, but yet it's not the best venue for it.
Right. Great. Okay, guys. I think that brings it together for our student of the month, or sorry, principal's brunch. Any further comments before we move forward to our ad hoc committee assignments? No. Okay, great. So that's going to move to our next agenda item, which is going to be about the ad hoc committee. Cynthia, do you have yours, the list up, or should I access mine?
I could share the screen.
Okay.
you all see okay?
Yes.
Okay, so it looks like we have our principals brunch. The committee members are Olivia and Angel. The scholarship, it's myself and Angel. The teacher spotlight is myself and Angel. Angel, you're on a lot of these. The student of the month is myself and Nicole. The scholarship funding outside is Suzanne and Olivia. And then the last is the program operational funding was myself and Angel. Sorry, the census committee as well, which is Olivia and Nicole. I don't think we need the program operational funding ad hoc anymore. So I'm going to vote to, or put a motion forward to strike that. We were able to meet before. As you guys know, I did send out an email to City Council in commissioner comments. And so they did kind of restore our funding to last level's amount. So we were successful in that. And that was a concern because previous years we were announced that our budget was going to get cut, and that was going to throw a lot of things out in the loop. So we did what we had to do. I think that'll stay on our radar for when this is happening again next year, but to maintain that standing committee, I don't know if that's necessary. So I'll put a motion forward to remove the program operational funding ad hoc committee.
Second.
Can I get a second from Angel? Any discussion on that? Anyone think we should keep it going? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and vote to remove ad hoc committee 6, program operational funding. Roll call vote.
Commissioner Olivia Robledo,
Yes.
Commissioner Nicole Moore,
Yes.
Commissioner Suzanne N. Llamas,
Yes.
Vice Chair Angel Zobo Rodriguez,
Yes.
and Chair David Govea.
That is a yes.
Motion carries.
So I feel like the remaining committee assignments are pretty useful. Was there any other topics or committees that you think would be helpful? Any commissioners to start to get going that they would like to be a part of? Or do we want to kind of keep these and maintain them as they are?
I am on the principals brunch because we had commissioner turnover. We can leave them for now, and then as we need to make changes, we can make changes monthly on these, right?
Yeah, as frequently as we want.
Okay, because like program operational, we won't need again until next March, I would think. So I mean, rather than keep it sitting there and then keep it dormant, we can remove it. We have removed it. Principals brunch, we've just pretty much not tabled it, but pretty close to tabled it. I would be willing to step down off that, but it's not doing anything right now. But if somebody feels strongly about how to envision that, then I would be.
It
Go ahead.
sounds like something right now is like we said, like writing a letter, like the something right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that could be within the principals brunch, or that really could just be general kind of education commission matters. So my hope is with the email that gets sent out is that our next chair, whoever that may be, will send that out just as an introduction. Maybe, hey, it's a new session. We know you guys are new, and that way we can find out again if there's been any turnover on the principals level. And 2, just kind of a reminder, hey, we're here in case you guys need resources. So I don't know if that email needs to fall under the principals brunch. I think that's more of the programming logistics in the event that we decide to have an event in the future. But yeah, I think we can kind of maintain that as it is. Anyone else have any comments? Thoughts?
I would just say that one of the tasks in getting ready for the principals brunch was to update the principals list. And so, we have 23 schools. So I know that in the past, we had to update that because there are changes in principals. They move around or people leave or resign. So I would just offer to do that again. And that is phone calling every school and making sure that the person we have on our list is the correct one. So I think we should do that.
Okay, I think that's great. Yeah, Olivia, you've been fantastic at getting that information and compiling it. So, if it's not broke, why fix it? And if you want to maybe just discuss with Angel if there's any specifics of what should be sent out,
I know
that can work.
at CCLA, there's a change in one of the academies, at least one. So
Okay,
I know we have to update that list, and I'll work with Angel and Cynthia on that.
Okay.
perfect. Perfect.
I'm
Sounds
going to
good.
also mention really quick that some of these, kind of what Olivia was saying, that they could be broken into two. So for example, for the scholarships, it required a lot of time to follow up with the students and do some calling and emailing and texting. So that could be an ad hoc on its own. So when the time comes, that these could definitely be multiple ad hocs for multiple different tasks.
Great. And I appreciate that input, Cynthia. Cynthia, since you are, overtaking kind of the heavy responsibility of what we do here, was there anything that you feel like maybe can really enhance our program, or anything that you would see that might be a good committee to begin working on, just because we value your opinion?
Definitely the maintenance of the ad hoc committees would be helpful. That I like having this list. Maybe it could be reoccurring, and definitely having tasks for different commissioners. That way it's not too much heavy load on you and Angel, and it's really split out around the group, and then myself as well. And that way we can also add more programming later on. So definitely keeping up with the ad hoc list.
Perfect.
So if you all would like, I could definitely start bringing this monthly, if there will be changes moving forward as well.
Yeah, I like having it monthly, and then we see it the same way that we tend to look at the budget. We don't, not this month, but we look at the budget on a regular basis so that we know what's going on. If we see this every month and we see that something's taking more time in that moment, I do remember with the scholarships, texting and emailing the kids, and some of the kids came right back. And then there were some that you said, I got an empty email. They sent nothing. So if we have, when it gets to that, there might be somebody who feels that they have a magic touch when it comes to figuring out how to get the kids to respond. Or however it works. And the scholarship event is definitely a different ad hoc than just the scholarships overall. But we weren't able to have the scholarship event, so we didn't really have a scholarship event ad hoc. But I like the idea of bringing it back every month. And if we're looking at it and we say, oh no, we definitely need to do this, then we can add to the ad hocs.
I have a suggestion that maybe we could, for instance, in the line of principals branch, the description, maybe we could add, update the principals list. Is that possible to do,
Yeah.
David?
That's good.
Yeah, definitely. So for the description, I'm not in control of it. Cynthia's in control.
Oh, Cynthia.
Yeah. But Cynthia, when you get a chance, if you want to add in the description for principals brunch to update the principals list, just so we have that as kind of record annually. And I think it's a great idea to update it at the same time as introducing the both teacher and student of the month programs. I think it's effective use of email. Okay.
I will send out the current principals list so that everyone has the current one. And then Commissioner Robledo, I will work with Commissioner Robledo to get that updated.
Awesome. Great. Thank you so much. And any other things regarding our ad hoc?
Yes, I have just wanted to share on the scholarship funding, the outside organizations. Commissioner Robledo and I had worked on the script and the letter, and we were ready to share, but the committee decided to hold on to it until after the scholarships. So I would like to update or revisit our work, Commissioner Robledo. Can we do that this month? So that way we'll have an update or sharing our work for next month's meeting. What do you think about that?
Yes, we can do that.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments in regards to the ad hoc committees? Okay, so we'll go ahead and close out this item. If you want to stop sharing your screen, Cynthia, feel free. All right, guys, so we're moving forward now to commission matter number 7. I want to start off, just so you guys know, I have had the privilege of serving as the chair for the past 2 years. We didn't bring it up to vote for last year, for just probably slipped our mind and we didn't really think about it. But 2 years ago when I was nominated as chair, I was super honored and privileged to be in this position, mainly because I kind of started off as like the weirdo visitor in the back of the room, just all these people kind of wondering who I was. But you know, my focus as an educator and as a resident has been to serve the students here in the city of San Fernando. So to have been allowed to serve as chair really has been a really amazing privilege. When I was appointed to serve as chair, that was before I was a parent. I had a kid in 2018 of November, and my daughter is due in the next couple weeks. And so the amount of energy and time that I have to be able to focus towards kind of envisioning the contributions like I have, I don't want to spread myself too thin. And I feel like a lot of my energy is going to be focused at home. I still want to serve on the Education Commission. I still plan. I still hope to serve in some leadership capacity. But I just, even through conversations with our vice chair, I realized that, when someone is mind 100% in the game. And right now my mind's in a bunch of different places. So with that, I want to nominate Angel Zoba Rodriguez as chair of the Education Commission. I do appreciate what everyone said in regards to maintaining the leadership. If willing to, I'm still willing to serve as vice chair, if there's someone else that would like to put their name in. But I do see Angel's heart, and I see her energy, and I see her mind, and I see her ideas. And it would be an honor to serve under her and allow her to kind of continue to maintain the great work that we've been doing. And she's introducing more programs, and you can tell she's completely in the game. So I nominate Angel to be our chair for the Education Commission.
I second it.
All right.
Do we have any other nominations? Okay, so
we can have discussion now, very quickly.
Sure.
First of all, thank you, David. I think how you actually put it was that I'm supposed to have an empty nest right now so that I can focus on this. It didn't work out that way, but technically she's launched. You guys you are very much at the very beginning of this, you and Amy, and we wish you guys the absolute best. The only way I would consider this would be with you as the vice chair, because you bring the enthusiasm and the let's try it, let's do this, no matter how crazy the ideas are, that some of them that have been brought forth, you bring the enthusiasm, we're gonna figure out a way to do it. But I would be willing. So thank you.
So she accepts the nomination, and
so first of all, I'm going to do a roll call for the nomination for chair for Angel Zobo Rodriguez, seconded by Olivia Robledo. So roll call, David Govea.
He froze. Okay. He froze.
Angel Zobo Rodriguez.
I will accept, yes.
Great. Commissioner Suzanne N. Yemas.
I agree, yes.
Commissioner Nicole Moore.
Yes.
Commissioner Olivia Robledo.
Yes.
The chair for 2020-2021 is Chair Angel Zobo Rodriguez.
Yay.
Thank you. Now it's only fair. I get to nominate David for vice chair.
I second it.
Let me second, Olivia.
And I do accept.
Do we have any other nominations? No, I am now going to roll call for the nomination of David Govea for vice chair. Chair Angel Zobo Rodriguez.
Yes.
Commissioner David Govea,
Yes.
Commissioner Suzanne N. Llamas,
Yes.
Commissioner Nicole Moore,
Yes.
and Commissioner Olivia Robledo.
Yes.
And the vice chair for 2020-2021 is David Govea.
Round of applause. Also.
All right.
After we take our new picture, we have to like somehow can we like move Angel's box to the center and be like, "Yay! Congratulations, chair."
Great. Awesome. All right, Chair, you want to finish us off?
I don't see the agenda, so are we at commissioner comments?
We are general commissioner comments. Yeah.
Okay, general commissioner comments. Anyone have any comments? I just wanted to say real quick, if no one else has any, 98 days till the election, please make sure you tell everyone to vote. And David, you and your wife are due in 2 weeks. So at our next meeting, we expect pictures. May not necessarily have you on screen, but we definitely want to see something. Okay, that's right. It's a Zoom meeting. You can do anything you want. After commissioner comments.
She'll be here. I'll be here for you.
You are so excited. This is adorable. Any other comments?
I just want to. Can I go? Sorry, I didn't even.
Yeah, go
ask.
ahead. Absolutely.
I just want to welcome our new clerk. So welcome, Julia Fritz. I appreciate that you have joined our commission. And also to thank former Chair Govea, new Vice Chair Govea, for his service. It has been a pleasure serving on this commission. And it has been a pleasure serving under your leadership. And I think we all are very grateful. And I got very nervous there for a second when it sounded like you were giving a leaving speech. So I'm very grateful that you're not. Thank you. So yeah, I look forward to another year doing this with y'all.
All right, is that everybody? Anybody have any other commissioner comments? So staff communications?
Yes, I'd like to, I piggyback on Commissioner Moore's back. I also was nervous. It did sound like Commissioner Govea was going to throw in the towel, but I know he's a go-getter. So, and I appreciate your honesty with the whole commission, and I do appreciate working with all of you. So I would like to welcome our new chair and vice chair. Thank you.
Awesome.
I wanted to just say a little bit, if I may.
Sure.
Okay, commissioners, the work that you guys do, that Cynthia just has sweat over in this office. She works so hard and reports all the information back from all the hard work that you folks put into this. And I'm sure all the teachers, students, parents really appreciate it. I don't think they realize how much work it really takes to put just a little bit of a celebration or a principal's luncheon. And I thank you. I wish I could switch places with Cynthia. Cynthia, do you want to do the council? No. This is so refreshing. I love my council meetings. Please don't get me wrong. But I think earlier you were speaking about how you could uplift the students and maybe provide, give them a vibe, or, you know, have a good vibe going on because of what's going on with the COVID. And I really don't see how they can't with all of you being their cheerleaders. I mean, I don't know. I just wanted to step in and provide a little comments, and I will see you more often.
Thank you. Cynthia, any other additional staff communications?
Not today. Thank you all for your amazing work this past year, ready for the next year.
And it would be much easier without a pandemic, but you know what? Nobody signed on for it. So we're just gonna keep going through. Are we now at everybody's favorite part of the meeting? All right, I need a motion to adjourn.
I motion.
I second
All
it.
right. Got a first and a second. We need a roll call.
Commissioner Olivia Robledo,
Yes.
Commissioner Nicole Moore,
Yes.
Commissioner Suzanne Anyema,
Yes.
Vice Chair Angel Zobel Rodriguez,
Yes,
or
it's
Vice
okay.
Chair David Govea,
Yes.
and Chair Angel Zobel Rodriguez.
Yes,
The motion carries.
we are adjourned. Thank you.
All right.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.
See you, everyone. Bye-bye.